Hi, good night, everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. So if you are here and you have an immigration question, go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I can go ahead and answer those questions. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green cards and status in the United States by any legal means necessary. I also like to close out the night with you all, and so I would like to hear your questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Hi there, Kev. Great, you're interested, and I think you may be talking about the E2 Treaty Investor Visa. If you are interested, then you can go ahead and schedule a personal consultation, and then we can go through whether you can qualify to obtain the E2 Treaty Investor Visa. If you have any questions about it, now is the time to put those questions in the comments or use the Q&A option to put your question there as well. So Camille, thank you for sharing the live. Now, I am here to answer your questions. You are my priority. Your questions are my priority. So now is the time to put your questions in the comments. I don't believe that there's any such thing as a dumb immigration question. You can ask anything that you want. So what's the cost of the visa? So it is a non-immigrant visa. Some countries, there are additional fees just based on their different arrangements with the countries. However, the base is a non-immigrant visa fee, which is $160. However, keep in mind that you still have to meet the requirements, and there is a cost to meeting the requirements. So one of that is to show that you have a substantial investment. You have made a substantial investment, or you're currently making a substantial investment into your business in the United States, that you're getting started. And a part of that is to show, now substantial investment does not mean that you have to have millions of dollars, but what it means is that for the business that you would like to run or you're starting up in the United States, you must have a significant amount of money to successfully run that business. So for example, if the business takes $100,000 to run in the United States, then you're going to be expected to show that you have invested or you're currently investing that $100,000. And now money in the bank is not enough. I like to say this, showing that you have $100,000 in the bank is not going to cut it. They want to see that you're actively investing this into your business. So if you would like to talk about the type of business, whether that would qualify, then definitely schedule a consultation. There is no limit on what type of business you want to start, as long as you can show that it is required for you to be in the United States to run that business. That's what's required. Thanks, Just Richie Music, for sharing the live. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So if you have an immigration question, if you're going through the process, if you have been through the process, if you're thinking about going through the process, then I know you have a question. Hi there. If I have a home, they're rented out. Red DAPs, no, that will not qualify. You have to show that you have to be physically here to run the country, and to rent a home out is not necessarily going to require you to be here to run the day-to-day functions of the business. If you want to start a new business, that does qualify as well. So Kev, I think that's Kevy, if that's also counts, but you would have to show that you have that substantial investment to put into that new U.S. business. So keep these are all good questions, by the way. So Redaps, you already, I have my visa. Okay, great. So you have your visa. I don't know what type of visa you're referring to. If you have your B2 visa, that would allow you to move back and forth. However, having a visa alone isn't going to qualify you for the E2. If I want to live and work in the U.S., how do I go about it? You have to qualify in some way, Camille. And so you're either going to qualify through through a relative, family member, or employer, or in the case of an E2 treaty investor visa, then through your business. And keep in mind, the E2 treaty investor visa is not permanent. So your ITIN number too. Yes, so ITIN, having the ITIN number and the B2 is not going to qualify you alone for the E2 treaty investor visa. It must be, you must show that you are actively running a business in the United States. Is this all about having or starting a business in the USA, Kevy? Exactly. That's exactly what it's about. That is what gets you to live and work in the United States. That's what justifies you living and working temporarily in the United States, is showing that you have to run your business here. I am a Trinidadian citizen. I would like to visit my partner in the Netherlands and apply for the MVV. So I only do U.S. immigration attorney. I don't know if the MVV is related to U.S. immigration law, but I don't do visas to go to the any other countries. If you are from Jamaica and have a visitor's visa, give birth to a child in the USA by USA citizen, and then Nikki Bowley, I didn't see the rest of it. After marriage, how long after can my husband start filing for me? He's a U.S. citizen. So Nicola, he can file for you right away. As now, the important part about this is that you must show the bona fides of your marriage. That's the most important part. So even if you get married today and you file tomorrow, the important thing is to gather evidence showing that you had a long-standing relationship way before you got married, and you just got married and now is the time to apply. And Nicola, go ahead, schedule a consultation if you would like to make sure you get guidance. It's always best to schedule a consultation, get legal advice before you start the process to make sure you avoid mistakes, you definitely qualify, you know how to approach the situation, and for you to understand and make a decision as to whether you will need help through the process. I see so many times people go into this process thinking they know it's just about completing forms, and they make tons of mistakes that lead to delay and even denial. So, or even more expensive problem to fix. So definitely schedule a consultation before to make sure everything is going well or you qualify. So if you're from Jamaica, so I read that, Nikki Bowley, can the child or the person assist you to obtain residence without being married? So that your child would have to be 21 and over to be able to file for you, and the person would have to be married to you to help you to file. So let's see. I thought I saw something else in regards to a 10-year bar, 8 years out of the U.S. If you married a U.S. citizen, can you get a waiver for the 2 years left? There is a way to apply for permission to apply for re-entry. That's the I-212 along with the waiver. So you still would need a waiver of inadmissibility, but it depends on what type of, what was the basis of your inadmissibility. However, yes, there are waivers, but it depends on your particular circumstances. When it comes down to waivers, very complex, Kendall, you definitely want help with it. So schedule a consultation, and then we can talk about how to approach that situation, whether you qualify for the waiver, and what you'll need to do. How long does the process take? So prepare for an 18-month process on average. So even if you have the business idea and you want to start a business in the state, it's all about the money you have. So basically you do have to show that you have that investment. If you can't show that, then they're not going to be convinced that you're able to run a business successfully in the United States. So what documents do you need to provide if you want to obtain a visitor's visa? Strong ties to your home country, employment, bank statements, property, even showing that you have family members here. So crazy beautiful. Let's see. Let's see. Crazy Beautiful, I don't see the other part of your question. Can you retype, please? So what documents do you need to provide if you want to obtain a visa? I read that already. What will come in the mail? Your work permit or a letter to apply for a work permit. What will come in the mail? So it depends. So if you applied for a work permit and it was approved, then you would get the work permit in the mail, but you can also get a letter before your work permit comes saying that it was approved. Nicola, thanks for sharing the live. My country borders are closed. It's Trinidad and I'm stuck here. Will I lose my visa? Sally, if you have a visitor's visa, then you shouldn't need to lose that visa. What you need to look at is the expiration date to make sure that you renew it if it's going to expire. Now, if you're talking about an immigrant visa, that is a different story. And if you are facing extraordinary circumstances, you're stuck, but you have a deadline to travel to the United States to become a permanent resident, then definitely schedule a consultation and then we can look at how to approach that. Nikki Bowley, what are the procedures for an academic entry to the United States? You'll have to apply for a student visa. Thanks. How long the process takes? Some time. So it depends on what type of waiver, Kendall, that you are applying for. So it's hard to give you a specific timeline, but I've seen as short as 6 months up to 2 years. So if I open an LLC and open a small shop there, will that help? So Red Apps, at this point, what you'll need to do is schedule a consultation. It's not just about opening an LLC and a small shop. You have to show that you have that substantial investment, and whether you have the substantial investment depends on the type of business that you want to open up. Hi there, sweet love. It's nice to see you. Hi, how long taking time for marriage-based green card application notice to get if someone applied on May 21st? So you could be looking at 3 to 4 weeks. So I would say 4 to 6 weeks would be a safe bet. What is the procedure to apply for a student visa? So first you'll have to apply to the schools, and once you get accepted, the International Student Office will usually help you to get what's called an I-20, and the I-20 will be the basis of schedule an interview at the embassy. Then you're going to, of course, have to go and show how you're going to pay for school, the fact that you've been accepted, how are you going to finance your education in the United States. What good evidence to show you've been in a relationship with a petitioner for a long time? So pictures, if you have joint property together, affidavits, if you have phone records showing your communication, and you can also get creative with it. Cards, pictures of different events with different family members in different countries. So it is extensive, and you just have to think about it and be creative. Now you can also, Crazy Beautiful, you can also schedule a consultation and let's look at your particular options to make sure you're on the right track. Samantha, first, is it a risk to apply for status on your own? So the first thing is you need to qualify. And so if you are follow your gut. So if you are feeling unsure about applying on your own, the first thing that you can do is schedule a consultation and get legal advice, get legal guidance. In my consultations, they're very detailed. They last for up to an hour, where I go through all your details to discuss your situation, whether you qualify, what's the game plan, what you should be doing, and I also give you the option to represent you should you need representation. It's a good way to really feel out whether you need to get legal representation, whether you do qualify, and how to move forward. So I think that's WizBee's World. If you over 21 and you have a U.S. citizen parent, how long would the green card process take? So right now it's taking about 6 to 7 years, unfortunately. If someone didn't get notice after applying 2 months, also didn't receive notice, is it bad or good? Right now it's there is a backlog, and so it is possible for it to go as long as 2 months without receipt notices. What I would do is call USCIS, make sure that everything is good on your side, that they received your case. They could even search by your name or your petitioner's name. So go ahead and make sure you do that to make sure it's not anything on your end, that they did in fact receive it, and they're not waiting for anything. So keep your questions coming. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So keep putting those questions in the comments. So far, these are all great questions, and I really enjoy answering them. So Sally, OMG, thank you so much. It's a visitor's visa, not expired. Just 6 months are up in July. Thank you again. So Sally Ann, let's go back. Okay, so you're stuck in the United States. Okay, Sally, I thought you meant you were stuck in your own country and you were unable to travel. Now, if you are stuck here and it is about to your time here, you have a date on your passport that you must leave by that date. Now, if your borders are closed, you need to apply for an extension. So super important that you don't just overstay the permissible time here, the time on your I-94, without applying for an extension. Very important. Sally Ann, if you need assistance, you can always feel free to schedule, but that's the best way to avoid consequences if you overstay the time that's permitted. You want to apply before that date comes. Can't stress that enough. So there, if you don't, then you could run into some problems with your visa in the future. So Crazy Beautiful. So let's see. You're welcome, Crazy Beautiful. So is there work and student visa for the U.S. because not all students can afford at start? So there are work programs for students in specifically. However, you have to meet certain requirements. It has to be a certain employer or sponsor. So Kevin, if this is something you're interested in, definitely schedule a consultation, because it will take forever for me to sit here and go through all the options. I have been searching for you on TikTok. Oh, well, that's good. You found me, Camps356. Jay Hines, you're welcome. If someone wants to live and work in the USA, what are the options available? So if you want to live and work in the United States, and Nikki Bowley, and you are, if you're talking about the E2, then, you know, the E2 treaty investor visa, usually you have to be hired by an E2 treaty country and have a managerial role, or you have to show that you're starting a business or expanding a business in the United States, and you have the qualifications to do that. You have the substantial investment. Will they give me a pass to visit back home to pay my last respects? So Camp 3, I had applied for a green card through marriage, haven't gotten an answer. My grandma had passed. So Camps 356, it depends. It depends on, you're applying for the green card through marriage. Is it through a U.S. citizen? Did you come into the country with a visa and then overstayed? In cases where you're adjusting status in the United States through your U.S. citizen spouse, you may qualify for a special type of travel document through advanced parole. However, it's important that you make sure that you do indeed qualify for this, because if you don't and you leave the country, it could cause more problems for you. So definitely schedule a consultation, Camps 356, that talk about all your circumstances. And it sounds urgent, so get in touch and schedule a consultation. How do I schedule a consultation? So you can go to the link in my bio. It's going to take you to the website where there's a contact form you can fill out. You can also go to call 561-405-4889. Right now, there's a scheduling coordinator who is here, who is there and waiting for calls to come in to schedule appointments, and you will be placed on my calendar. So Sally Ann Butcher, you're welcome, and I'm glad we clarified that. How long after my green card interview can I begin working in the US? So it depends. So if you get your green card you are actually approved and you have evidence that you are now a green card holder, then you would be able to work. Then you would have all the rights to work as a green card holder without applying for a work permit. But you still have to actually become a permanent resident. Otherwise, you'll need a work permit. So thank you very much for your informative comments. You're welcome, Nikki Bowley. That's why I'm here. I'm here to be informative. And thanks for sharing the live. And Kirk 171, thank you for sharing the live as well. So great questions. Thank you all for your questions. I am here every single night. So if you didn't get to ask your questions, so it says you just want to know how long it takes for a fiance visa. Does it take to come through? So right now it's taking over 12 months for the fiance visa. I know it was originally designed to go through within a month. However, because of the backlog, it's taking as long as marriage-based visas, immigrant visas. So people find themselves in this dilemma where they're trying to decide between the fiance visa and just getting married. And, before it was the short time that was the advantage with the fiance visa. If you're able to get married and get your spouse here and just let them become a permanent resident once they land in the United States, then maybe that would work out better. But it all depends on your particular circumstances, your preferences. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Camps356, thank you so much for that. This is what inspires me to show up every night to answer your questions. So follow me. If you're not following me, follow me so that as soon as you see me go live, you can hop on and ask your questions. I'm here every day with few exceptions. So you can depend on me showing up. Hi there, Shannon Spring. It's good to see you again. You can depend on me to show up to answer your questions. And so you'll see me tomorrow. In the meantime, if you'd like to schedule a consultation, go ahead and do that by clicking on the link in my bio, or you'll see the phone number plastered all over my videos where you can call, and a scheduling coordinator is available Monday through Friday up until 11 p.m. to get you on my schedule. Sweet Love 26, you're welcome, and thank you so much, Camps 356 for the rose. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.